Okay, I'm sitting here with Tom Seaborn. What's up, Tom? How you doing today?
Hey Jeff, everything's fine. How about you?
Doing pretty good. What kind of health tip do you have for everybody today?
Well, Jeff, you know the mind and the body are connected in a huge way, and so what I thought we'd talk about briefly is how to really get the ability to focus and relax and concentrate. So I'm going to give you four different techniques that your listeners can try, and they may know them, but at least it'll remind them to use them. The first technique is just breathing, and everybody thinks, oh, so what? I already know how to do that. But if you put your right hand on your chest and your left hand on your stomach, on your abdominal area, that's where your diaphragm is, and then breathe so that only your left hand moves. When you do that, when you inhale, your hand comes out, and when you exhale, your hand goes in. Then you're using more of your lung capacity, and it's also a natural stress reliever. So, in our high stress facts and all the gizmos that we have and apps and our computers, and we need to de-stress a couple times during the day. So that's a great technique. Next technique is called progressive relaxation. And it's simply contracting and relaxing muscles sequentially so that you could start with your hands, squeeze your hands into fists, 1, 2, 3, and relax. And then go ahead and bring your low back flat against the chair. That contracts your abdominals, 1, 2, 3, and relax. And then bring your shoulders up towards your ears, 1, 2, 3, and relax. So you go through your entire body, contracting and relaxing muscles until finally you're very relaxed. And again, that's a great activity to do if you're sitting at your desk so that you get that contracting and relaxing so you're actually working out, in a way as well. The third technique is called the relaxation response. And on this one, all you do is every time you exhale, you say the word one to yourself, O-N-E, one. And there's been lots of studies on this, and what they found is that by doing this for 20 minutes, but even if you only do it as a mini technique, then it helps to not only relieve stress, it reduces blood pressure, it increases galvanic skin response. That just means, it's a response on your skin. It's a good thing. All this is good. And to do this, all you do is breathe from your diaphragm, and every time you exhale, you just say the word one to yourself. And if there's any distractions, if the phone rings or if someone knocks on your door, you just let that distraction go in one ear and then out the other, and then you go back to the relaxation technique. And it's amazing how if you do that for a couple minutes a day, how that kind of gets your mind in a better state. It's called a relaxed focus state, so that it's not in that beta brainwave pattern, but more of an alpha brainwave pattern, so it will increase your creativity as well. And of course, the next technique everybody knows about is called mental imagery. And this is where you close your eyes, breathe from your diaphragm, and then visualize yourself, maybe fighting if you're wanting to improve your karate performance, or visualize yourself making the proper choices of food on a cafeteria line. So whatever your goal is, visualize yourself from your own perspective, as if you were doing it. The other type of imagery is called external, where you visualize it like you're watching it on TV. But the studies show that the internal, where you get as many senses involved as possible. So, for example, if you're visualizing yourself running, you can feel your feet on the track. You can feel the breeze as you're running. You might even be able to smell the salt air if you're running by a beach. So the more senses you get involved, then the better that imagery technique will work. And then the final technique, which Herbert Benson found when he was doing his research on all of these strategies, found that this was as effective as the other techniques for removing stress, and it works very well here in the Bible Belt, is prayer. And the key here is just to sit, relax, breathe from your diaphragm, and pray. And you get the same physiological response from that as you would from imagery, the relaxation response, progressive relaxation, or deep breathing. So hopefully folks can use these techniques. I wrote a book on these a few years ago. It was called Mind Body Fitness, and it explains those techniques in more depth. But this can give your listeners a way to kind of de-stress through the day. And then, as you know, all of these techniques help increase athletic performance.
Well, that is true because both of us were martial artists, and I can remember after I'd get through working out, when I'd go home, my mind would keep going over. Okay, if I wanted to, you know that me and Raymond came up together. Well, yes,
Yeah.
I used to always think about, well, how am I going to get past that sidekick? And so I would visualize, okay, well, if I come up through his backside and turn his shoulder, I can usually get past that. So I would go over all these different techniques about following up. Okay, if they throw this, I'm going to throw that. Okay, I'm going to grab them, and then I'm going to turn them, and then I'm going to hit them this way. Either
Exactly.
that, or I'm going to fake them with this, and then I'm going to do that. And it seems like that people that think about the technique, when they're not working out, then when they get in the gym, it becomes almost second nature. In other words, it's something that becomes a pattern before you actually do it physically.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. That's what the research shows. And speaking of Raymond, he's a major proponent of this. I remember we'd have long conversations driving back from a fight or driving to a fight. And he was he's as far as an example of someone who used imagery effectively. Yeah, talk to Raymond. I remember he would tell me about, instead of listening to his teachers when he was in high school, he'd be thinking about doing his karate techniques. And yeah, imagery is an amazingly powerful tool. And I'll venture to say that all world-class athletes use imagery in some way, even if they don't think they do. If they're daydreaming, it would be like a formalized type of daydreaming. So yeah, it's absolutely a way to improve performance, without a doubt.
Okay, Tom. Well, I appreciate you giving us another good tip today. I know this one was real because we were both athletes, and we were, pretty the top in our field for a long time. And we've also produced people that way. And you've done it in various sports and training and everything else. Is this something that you teach to all your people that are going to be trainers and in college and all that?
Oh, yeah. In fact, just think about all of the different aspects of fitness. Like, for example, let's say you're going to do weight training. You visualize yourself about to do a bench press, and you imagine the cold steel bar in your hand and the weight slowly dropping toward your chest. Or imagine yourself getting ready to stretch, where you close your eyes, breathe from your diaphragm, and imagine the muscles lengthening on that group of muscles that you're stretching. Yeah, so definitely all the different aspects of fitness and health. It's a great technique, and it's used to benefit the mind and the body together.
Well, hey, I appreciate you taking time today to give us another great tip. This is Jeff Overturf with Tom Seaborn at WTFradio.me.